Oh my God. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Lombardi Lounge. The first ever Lombardi Lounge.
I'm comfortable here, boys. One thing I can't, I watch you guys a lot, and I really admire what you do. And the one thing that always freaks me out is I am not able to do that.
So many people make this comment. I'm not able to sit normal. Look at this.
Oh.
But, look at this. Just non-stop.
What you guys can do, my legs.
You can't do it.
I mean, I can't get this leg just.
Vic, it's a matter of practice. We didn't want to sit like this, but Ali, producer, said that people would be distracted by our balls.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, see?
But you know how much this hurts? Like, right?
No.
Like hip flexion. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys not have hip flexion?
So you don't see this after the show, Vic, when we stand up, one of our legs is asleep after an hour. Like,
Every
do you mind if
single
I put just my foot on the corner of your furniture?
I am such a fan of
good?
this.
This is the Vic Lounge. No, but the Serbians do
The
not
Serbians
like
really, it's offensive apparently in Serbia.
Well, I'm Italian, so tough luck.
That's what I said. It's America. We get to put our feet where we want.
sit however you want.
No.
Yeah, we're not doing the show in Belgrade, are we?
well, it is live. It is streaming
And our
live
speaking,
across
right?
the
Are we?
national
Okay.
television networks. Guys, so of course, our guest here, we're off and running already. Our guest, a Denver legend, one of all of our heroes. I think you know that. I've told you this before, but Vic is in the house. And first, before we start anything, I have to ask you about the most legendary thing I've ever seen from a human being. And it happened, it was you. Do you have the clip? Are you ready, Kale? Fire it up.
Oh, I know it.
Absolutely legendary.
It's embarrassing, to be honest with you, because it hit the backboard. and-
Vic, I'm a season ticket holder. I've watched so many Western Union first shots that
They're almost all bad.
I would say 100% of them are bad.
Yeah.
Banking it in.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it. You
from the
guys,
three-point
you call it
line.
whatever you want. I mean, it just I played the part, followed through.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, they give you, like, when you shoot, you go play with a real basketball. And for this, they give you the little rubber
the toy
plaything
ball.
target ball that you get out of the big target frame. And I'm like, come on, man. And I wasn't ready for that. And you got the adrenaline going. And
You're
put
like,
a
give
little
me a
too
freaking
much.
game ball here.
You know what? I put a little too much on it, but I wasn't going to shoot a free throw. Free throw's nothing. Come on.
It's too easy.
I went to the basket.
I said this, I think, on our last show that, like, Kobe scored 60 in his last game. Big players, when there's the moment's right, you step up. Vic goes back to the three-point line and hits it. And yes, it was a bank, but
Yeah, I don't remember Kobe banking any of those.
The basketball gods, they reward bold, and the basketball gods smile.
I remember when that happened. This was back in the day when we would like sit courtside before the game and just hang out. You came over to us and you're like, "I'm shooting the first shot, and I'm not shooting a free throw. I'm going 3-pointer."
Really?
You
He
called
his shot?
called your
He
shot.
pointed right to it?
Yeah, you called your shot and then hit it.
That was game 1 against Portland.
Yeah.
And do you guys just, again, it looks so weird to see people, right? To see fans. Do you remember what it felt like?
Oh man,
Overwhelming. Like, I said that I got actual goosebumps. The Jokic shot over the 76ers, like, beyond me. You're supposed to no cheering in the press box.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, my body cheered. I didn't even do anything, but you missed that, man. It's so intense.
the buzz in the arena, just the atmosphere in the arena before those big games, indescribable. And that's like the most underwhelming part of games right now. There's just not that excitement.
It's coming back.
in
We're
the
not that
building.
far away.
Yeah, it's coming back, but
I'm waiting for the
there's just
time.
that undescribable.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the time where
vibe.
I lose control of my body and I stand up and I scream with such vigor that I get lightheaded and I have to sit right back down, which happens to me twice a game.
Yeah.
But it hasn't happened to me in like a year and a half.
I get you, brother, and I can't wait. The games today are pleasant to have the fans back, but it's still not, it's still not the same.
Sometimes the broadcasts, not just the altitude, but any game you're watching on League Pass will turn the fake crowd music up a little too loud, and it feels like extra. Like what's going on here? The cues are off. It's weird. We have a super chat. Is that what you said, Kale? Should we get to our? So Vic, the people are so excited that you're on the show that they are paying us for some reason. Just a tip.
What?
Somebody just paid us $10.
That is
Not
very,
you. Not
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Us.
you get none of that, just to be clear.
Can I get an iced tea or something?
No, absolutely not.
All right, let's see.
Damn.
MPJ needs a nickname. I've been thinking
His nickname
Go
is
Go
MPJ.
Gadget because his arms and legs are a mile long. Thoughts, alternatives.
MPJ is literally a nickname.
It is. But it's
is
the
a
lamest
nickname.
type of nickname.
No, it's the perfect nickname. MJ, Michael Jordan is MJ.
Yeah.
When it works, you don't have to stress. Like you don't have
EY
to-
is a good. That was a good one. EY was like a
He's
great,
MPJ.
Yeah.
initials. What do you think of Go Go Gadget?
It's too much, and it references a lot of people wouldn't even get it. Younger generation.
I'm not sure I totally get it.
I mean, hate to burst that bubble, but plus, I don't think Go Go Gadget had a jumper. He just had long arms. Ooh,
A
nice.
little Thursday morning
Hey,
drinking.
am
Why
I-
not? Why
am I allowed to
why
drink
not?
while-
You're
Late
afternoon.
Vic.
Yeah.
You got to keep
Yeah.
it professional.
This is
Vic.
what we do
We
on
actually
the
have some
show.
Rocky if you really want to win over the sir.
I just played some ball, dude, so I'm thirsty.
Is that right? All right,
What's your game like, Vic? Are you? Oh, hold on. I know. You're Fokker Composite.
I am exactly that.
I should have known. Yeah.
I'm the same size. I'm one of those dudes that is. I'm not very good anymore at the age of 52, but I try hard.
Yeah.
Faku's good. He's in the NBA. Much different
yeah.
player.
Pretty
He is good.
But and everybody says that about Faku. To make it in this league, I don't care who you are or where you're from. You are an elite athlete, okay? You may look at him and say, look how small he is. You can't. Dude, you're in the NBA.
Yeah.
Not even just that. You have to eat glass for breakfast if you're that tiny and you play amongst guys that size. I mean, you're going up against guys that are literally twice your body weight.
Adebayo posted him up. Did you see that? Bam got him on the block. And I'm like, what the hell would I do against Bam? Like, what? I mean, Bam's got his butt on me. What do I do?
All right, let's get into some of these Nuggets topics here. And the first one I have to ask you. I've said this. I've grown up a fan of basketball. It's my favorite sport. I've grown up a fan of the NBA, all the eras of it. But I've become more of a fan of the Nuggets by far than I have of the NBA. Do you like the direction that the NBA is headed? And are there things that bother you about it? And what are those things?
Adam, you know where I fall on this, and I hate to say this, and frankly, I've gotten in trouble sometimes saying this. I've interviewed Adam Silver several times. I have good friends that work for the league office that I went to college with. Tim Frank is Tim Frank.
No.
He runs all of NBA PRs.
Oh, okay,
College friend of mine, and they run the league perfectly. The league. I'm never going to dismiss how they run the league. I just don't like the league.
Yeah.
And I don't like
perfectly terrible.
I mean, it's just not fair across the board. Now, what is fair? What is fair? That's a dumb comment to make. What is fair? Fair is when my team wins all the time.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fair.
totally.
Anybody can say that. But a team like the Nuggets, everything has to go perfectly to enjoy the same success as teams in LA, in the bigger markets. Like, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. If the Lakers lose their second best player, if the Clippers lose their second best player, it's a lot easier for those markets to overcome that
Right.
a lot sooner. It doesn't put you through that black hole of what ifs, right? It's harder for smaller market teams. And you can use any excuse you want. That is the issue with the NBA. I'm such a passionate Nuggets fan, born and raised, that if it weren't for the Nuggets, like if the Nuggets just went away, I'm not so sure how
Right.
into the NBA I would be.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. If they moved to Seattle or something, I'm
I'm
not
dead
sure.
honest
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, I feel the same
I'd be
way,
out.
and that competitive balance thing is part of it. And I do feel like with the player empowerment era, it's going an opposite direction. Nobody's pushing their way to Denver. Nobody's stacking the deck to do this. It's always the same sort of teams. But what I think funnels it as much as anything, and which becomes my second complaint with the NBA, is the league's main partners. That's TNT and that's ESPN. And I don't want to be the media complaining about media
Oh,
guy,
boy.
but there is a funneling of we have to talk about the thing that gets us clicks, and the thing that gets us clicks is always the exact same thing.
It's
What's
like a
going
death
on with the
spiral.
Lakers? And I think players like Aaron Gordon and maybe even a Jeremy Grant last year look at it and go, I can do anything, and it's not going to make SportsCenter. If I go to one of these other markets, I can just wear a vest to the game, and it's going to be on SportsCenter every single hour.
Well, that's why it takes a special person to play here and understand that that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of
Well-
things. Do you think Nikola Jokic goes home
No.
and wonders about clicks?
Nope.
I mean, you think he ever? You think he checks social media
Nope.
through one of his brother's accounts?
Nope.
And that's the beauty of having a player of that ilk in our presence is you never have to worry about that.
Are there any other players in that ilk? Is he an ilk of one?
I think Tim Duncan was that kind of
Ah,
player.
you're right.
You're right. Yep.
I think Tim Duncan didn't care. He just wanted to play ball.
It's an ilk of two.
Modern day superstars.
Yeah, like-
I'd say no.
Like, I'm trying to think through. Kawhi likes to play like he does, but he cares.
Oh, of
He cares.
course.
He cares.
Yeah.
Of course.
Kawhi cares. There's
You
no
a-
doubt
you ask
about it.
people about Kawhi, and there's some shit they say. Like,
Especially
Toronto knew they had a 1-year rental with him. They knew what the plan was, and
Did
they
you guys read that article at the beginning of this season about the behind the scenes with the Clippers organization?
Right.
How Kawhi got
Yep.
special treatment, a special
course.
room for pregame training and massage and all that, and the rest of the guys were like, "Well, what about us?" Yeah, so he cares.
That's not unique, though. I know in Houston it was the same with Harden.
Yeah.
There were stories of, Harden gets the room that you're supposed to stretch in, which means all the other players have to go in the hallway to stretch because the room is his.
Yeah.
And that stuff just happens.
Well, Hanslick gets his own makeup room.
Is that- I wanted, that's what I wanted to ask.
He
yeah.
does well by it too.
I'd say Giannis.
some more makeup.
I wonder if Giannis is like the closest
don't know.
facsimile of a
That's
superstar to
Now we're just picking off international players,
It-
right?
it really-
Maybe
what it
that's
comes
the
down
common
to.
thread, though. Maybe that's the common thread.
I think Jokic is like he's getting familiar with American celebrity, but I think for many years he was just so blown away by why do you guys care what I'm wearing?
Yeah.
Why do you care about what I think about anything other than what just happened or what's about to happen on the court?
Well, we think that we're all up in his face here, but I can't imagine. I would love to take a trip back home with him and see what it's like.
yeah.
I mean, what is his? Can he walk down the streets of Sombor like he can walk
It's
here?
funny. It's funny you ask. We've looked into this. We did
Have
a
you?
whole shit. Yes, Miroslav let us in.
And?
Yes, he's allowed to be left alone. But there's a great.
Are they
respect.
just respectful by that's the culture? Or
I think Sombor is small enough that everybody knows and respects. Like, hey, there's
Hands
moments.
off.
There's moments to go to him, and there's moments not. And
No, I think if he was in Belgrade,
Yeah, I think it'd be
or
different.
a bigger
Definitely.
city, it's different. But I think there's just this understanding in Sombor that all right, like he's our king, but we're gonna leave him.
Do you have another city? So you have Sombor, you have Belgrade. He almost went there. Hold on,
Novi Sad?
there he goes. He got it. He got
That's
it.
my
All right.
third.
Let's
All right.
go.
I think the list probably
Gosh,
ends right
man,
there.
your geography's nice.
Incredible.
I've
geography.
written
No
too
idea.
many things about Nikola Jokic in Serbia.
Yeah, he played at Novi Sad for a while. Do you think Jokic can be Denver's Tim Duncan? I mean, assuming, of course, that he stays. But, one of the questions I want to ask you is where do you think that Nikola fits into the greater sort of Nuggets history? And in a second, I'll ask you the greater Denver sports figures history.
Well, we've debated that very question on air, and I asked a former player who played with who I regarded one of the greatest Nuggets, if not the greatest Nugget of all time. Bill Hansick played with Alex English,
Right.
who is the still the franchise leading scorer. And Bill Hansick did not hesitate. He said this before the season started. He said Nikola Jokic is already the greatest player in franchise history. And there's nothing else he has to do to cement that, to be honest with you. That's how much he means to the team. It's what he can do. And he would relay stories to me about, the greatness of Alex. Bill Hansick got traded for David Thompson. Think about that. So he told me about the greatness of David Thompson, Dan Issel. And I never mean to diminish those players.
Right, of
and I
course.
never will. But when's the last time a Nugget was involved, and not only involved, but leading MVP honors in April? This is
It's
the only
unprecedented.
time. It's the only time. So, end of question. It's over.
I think he's going to win it. And
think so, too.
I think going away. I think that a lot of this conversation is at Harden. That stuff gets the clicks. Again, that's like a producer saying, hey, we're going to do this. But I think when it comes down to it, there was a straw poll on ESPN today.
Saw that today.
Overwhelming.
It wasn't even close. And correct me if I'm wrong. This is all media. It's an all media MVP vote. Is that how it
Yes.
works?
There's people that have there's people that have an MVP
Like
vote.
who
Select
has
media.
these votes?
I
I've
think
never had.
I think Mike Singer has a vote.
Really?
Yeah, I think. he
How
has
do
a
you
vote.
get a vote? Who do you talk to?
I want to vote.
That's a good question. That's a
You're
good
this
question.
close, Eric. You're
I've
this
been,
close to
I've
getting
been
a
in the
vote.
media, and I don't mean this by any. I've been in the media for 30 years. I've never voted on anything.
Right.
No one's ever asked me for a vote.
Right.
I mean, they just say, "Oh, we're not getting your vote. You're stupid."
I don't know what the process is by that. I think it'd be a real burden. Our friend Matt Moore used to, when he was at CBS, used to have a vote, and I remember he would spend weeks on it.
Yeah.
Because he felt a
Put his work.
responsibility. He
Put
thought,
his
I'm not going to do this.
Oh, that's why he didn't ask me. I just say, yeah, whatever. yeah, get that guy.
I don't like Harden. He's 12.
Yeah. Good point.
I don't know, but I do think he's going to win it going away. What do you think, if he does win it, what does it mean for the Nuggets and for him personally?
Well, it obviously for the Nuggets, it puts you on that radar, right? When you're talking NBA basketball, when you see those wonderful ads for the Christmas Day games, when the NBA is marketing the NBA,
Right.
you're going to market the league without your MVP?
Right, of course. Yep.
You're going to market your league without your MVP. You tell me.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely not.
now they're forced to.
they might. But,
No. Now they're
try.
forced to. And
Yeah.
it puts you on that map, that exclusive club, that here we are. I liken it very much to Dirk Nowitzki in Dallas.
Yep.
It's very similar. He had to really go out of his way. He finally won an NBA championship, and people. What was Dallas basketball before Dirk Nowitzki? I mean,
Right.
you tell me.
Yeah.
Can you give me a history of Dallas Mavericks basketball?
Blackman was there. I don't know if outside
I mean,
of that.
it was
Jason
nothing.
Kidd.
Yeah,
Jason Kidd, yeah.
it was nothing. He put the Mavs on the basketball map. He made the
true.
Mavs cool. He made the Mavs a market where, whoa, that's a basketball market. Let's go for the NBA.
Right.
So I think that's what Joker's going to do here. It's already done. I think he's doing it.
Do you feel that? Because I've told people this 3 years ago. I've been the Jokic guy from his first summer league. I've just been so high on him. But I've been telling people, tune in. This is Denver's Larry Bird. It's not that they have a good player that, comes around every 10 years you get one. Like, no, this very well might be the best player they've ever had and the best player they will have for the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Who knows? That's how high I am sort of on his talent. And I think an MVP would go a long way to solidifying that. There's his rookie season. Who's better, Kristaps or Jokic? And then sophomore season, it's you just kept raising the bar on who's he better to. If he wins an MVP,
It's obviously established. I knew he was better than Kristaps that day he went to Madison Square Garden. Put 40 on him. I was at that
One of my
game.
favorites.
And I was like, the entire garden was like, whoa, who is this guy? What is going on? It was just so cool to watch. That's when I knew, all right, this guy.
That was his first. He had that game against the Spurs his rookie year, but that game in Madison Square Garden was
I thought that was the
first
game he
one.
arrived.
Yeah, that was his arrival
Yeah.
for sure.
he had a couple dunks. I went back and watched that highlight not too long
Really?
ago, and I think there's 3 dunks in that game. A
He
spin
really?
move, or he had some nice
It's
plays.
the arc of the Jokic dunk. He started off dunking,
Right.
and then he took some real time off in the middle. Now he's back.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy when he misses dunks now. Like, I don't care. Just try.
For a while there, he was getting ambitious. The little Statue of Liberty from the free throw line.
He tried the 2-stepper from the free throw line. He's like, watch this. I'm gonna cock my arm back.
That's the last time I'm trying that.
If you
He's
watch
never gonna try that.
the
again.
bench on that one is so great because they all see it coming and jump up, and they're like,
Yeah.
it would have been the greatest.
We did the same
celebration.
thing.
Yeah, we actually did do the exact same thing. But let's talk about the biggest. 'Cause obviously, you go back, a long time here in Denver.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Vic,
to the
you're
old
old.
guy.
You're old.
Bring the elderly man here. Let's roll in the corpse.
If I said Denver sports figures, the first guy that I think comes to mind, and he'd be hard to top, in my opinion, is John Elway.
Yeah, I mean, he is. Listen, I speak from a sports perspective, so my judgment is skewed. The most famous person in the history of Colorado, Buffalo Bill,
Yeah, he's up there. He's up there.
and John Elway.
Yeah, that's it. Sounds
Fight
right.
me on that.
Yeah, who would be number 3?
Somebody fight me.
I would-
John Denver.
John Denver.
Does anybody want to fight? I'll fight you on that. I mean, and that's just what
I
it
might
is.
fight you about Buffalo Bill, frankly.
Well, you're
John,
crazy.
John Elway.
You know what? You need to study your history.
True story. When my grandmother was getting her citizenship papers, right? Because my parents are immigrants, my grandparents. So you have to go through this test, and who is the current president? Who is the first? She was asked, who was the first president of the United States, and her answer was Buffalo Bill.
That's incredible.
Come on. You know, it's
wild.
wrong, but wrong in the right way. We'll let you in. This is too good. Who else is on that list? If you were making a sort of Mount Rushmore to you,
of
all sports.
athletes?
We're talking all sports. You can even go to CU, CSU if you want.
Well, there's only been one Heisman Trophy. Well,
Yep.
no, Whizzer White. I mean, God, how far back do we want to go?
I know that.
The guy's a Supreme Court justice for crying out loud.
Well, I forget famous people. I mean sports figures here now.
Also named Whizzer.
Whizzer White. It's
Yeah,
a great-
if
it's
your
honestly a
name's
great
Whizzer
name.
and you get away with that,
Yeah.
that alone.
If you're
And your
Supreme-
last name's White.
And you're a Supreme Court justice,
Yeah.
and people call you Whizzer.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
listen, in terms of pro sports, just athletics in general, I mean, John Elway's obviously on that list. You go across the board now you're thinking about, all right, who are the next hardware producers? Who's produced hardware here? Joe Sakic
I think he's on there.
You got to put Sakic on that.
got it.
Patrick Waugh
And
did.
his star is rising.
And
Joe
see, Sakic came back, and he's
Yeah.
still with the organization, and he still lives here.
I love it.
He's pulling it out.
When it works out, I love it so much.
Yes, I give bonus points to those who played here and stayed here.
Oh, that's the ultimate.
Yes.
If you win a championship here and then come back and win it as
Yeah.
an executive,
But also, like Peyton Manning, I was like, he's a rental, and then he stuck around. I'm like,
He actually stayed here. I've asked him. I've asked him
my
that.
boy Peyton.
Yeah, I asked
What'd
him.
he
I
say?
said, "Why are you?" I was blunt. I go, "Why are you still here?" Because you could live anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And he was matter of fact. I mean, where else would he want to raise his kids? He wants to
Peyton.
raise his kids in Denver, Colorado. He loves it
don't
here.
tell anyone else that though.
I
Don't
know.
tell anyone else that. It's getting
a-
too crowded here.
It is so true, though, man. Yeah, so those two are clearly on the list.
And after that, it's hard. Now
does
you
get
start
really hard.
cutting it down, and now it gets subjective, entirely subjective, and personal relationships. I mean, I'll throw out a name who had an impact in every sport and is the winningest high school football coach, Dave Logan.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he had a college scholarship offer in all three sports.
His career is really crazy.
He was drafted in all three sports. I mean, think about that.
It's really wild.
You're good. You're drafted in three sports.
It's wizard-like.
Who does that? So, yeah, you can go. We can come up with all kinds
How
of
many does he have?
names.
How many state championships does he have now? He just won another one, right? Is
Well,
it 9 or 11?
I don't know the total number, but he's the only guy to do it with 4 different schools.
That's wild.
4.
You know,
That's
I
wild.
want him to go up to Thornton, see if he can if he can take them to
If he wins at Thornton, bro.
Yeah.
I'll build the statue myself.
Did you play for Thornton?
I did. Yep.
How was your team?
We have a banner up. I'm not kidding. We rose a banner for making it to the Sweet 16. First
No.
time, first and
Right
last
there,
time
baby.
in school history, baby.
there,
so
baby.
we have a banner.
Are you guys Denver guys?
Fort Collins. Man.
Okay, so where'd you go?
Rocky Mountain High School.
Harrison.
So I'm a Boulder guy. I went to Fairview.
Okay, so Fairview's got a rich sports tradition, right?
course.
I mean, you guys.
Skipped right over Rocky.
I'm sorry. I mean,
You can sit out.
I was trying to draw a good baseball program.
I've been told that their hockey program is quite dominant these days. They also won the baseball championship a few years ago, and in 1996, I'm told, one doubles team made it to second place in state.
Wow.
I was on that doubles team.
All right.
Let's go.
That's banner worthy.
And that'll do it for our community access portion
No,
of the show.
I don't think we need to gloss over what Vic just said. Fairview, a very rich sports history.
And I accentuate rich.
Too good. Thank you. Too freaking
Yeah,
good.
got him.
What would it take for Jokic to move? I mean, obviously a championship. That's number one. But is he talented enough, in your opinion, that with some hardware could move into that Mount Rushmore type?
No
figure?
doubt. Of course. I mean, he's creeping up there right now. When you're the best player ever of your franchise and you can do something, listen, let's just get this out of the way. Let's get it out of the way. The Broncos have produced championships.
Yep.
All right. So anybody who wonders why the Broncos are center cut here in Denver is because they've produced the most championships. They've done it, year in, year out. They've always been a playoff team.
Great for so many. Basically, my whole life they were great.
Exactly.
Until recently.
Exactly. And back when I grew up in the 70s and 80s, you had the Broncos.
Yep.
You had the Nuggets.
Yeah.
You sort of had a hockey team, but they left.
Right.
That was the old Colorado Rockies. And that's what you had. So the Broncos have dominated all the attention. I get it. The Nuggets have to win a championship to move to that level, or at least have to contend for a championship.
They've been here for 50 years.
I know. And I
56,
joke.
I think.
I joke. I say when they win it, when they do that parade, I'm done.
Really?
Just from Earth?
I might be done. There's no reason for me to exist.
You know what? Me and you, Vic, we're going to Thelma and Louise this thing.
And I
Wow,
don't-
this has really turned out.
I don't mean. I mean that in
I like you guys. I kind of
No, he's right. That's the. I mean, what else do we need?
Go
at
out
that
on
point?
top, I guess.
I just you've got to cross that line. The Avs have crossed it.
Yep.
Yep.
The Avs, and you know what? I think they're going to cross it again.
Yeah, I think
this
they are
year.
too.
That's
Seems
a
like they
packed
are.
team, man. They're really good. The Rockies got close. That World Series run was special. Still
Yeah.
one of the most special stretches in sports history for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the Nuggets, man, if they can get there, if that special comes here, I don't know what I will do with my hands.
I know. I'm just going to fight people
Yeah.
that I love.
Yeah, me too.
I won't be responsible.
So
for
I think
my
that's
actions.
important.
Yeah. Do you think would this become a Nuggets town? I mean, it's always going to be a Broncos town, but would it become more of a Nuggets town with a championship?
I've thought about this long and hard, and guys, I mean, we can. I don't want to, split. I don't want to divide fan bases. I don't want to do that because I'm a sportscaster. I'm all about all sports. But it's the weirdest thing that's taken place in my town over the last 10, 15 years is that everybody, sort of focuses on one sport, and this is it.
Yep.
And I've never understood that. I'm a sports fan.
Yeah.
I watch all of them. I don't care who it is, what it is. I may like one or another, but I watch all of them. I talk about all of them. I imbibe when I go to all the games. But the point is,
Hell yeah.
there's too much of, well, it's Bronco Town, tough luck, you're done. And I hate that. I hate when the narrative, you insult me when your whole lineup is all one sport because that's what you think people want.
Right.
That's insulting to me. I grew up here.
That's kind of going back to what we were saying about how these national networks force feed the Lakers.
Who are you to tell me what I like?
Down your throat.
Right.
Who are you? This is my town. Who are you to tell me what I should be watching or talking about?
I think there's also a layer of
It's crap.
if you don't,
It is crap.
If you don't know how to talk about a certain thing, then you don't want anyone to want that thing. I think there's a
All
layer
of the
of that
numbers
too.
and the ratings. Oh, screw off, man.
Oh,
I mean, you know
totally.
what? You know what? In my neck of the woods, we don't talk about numbers and ratings. We talk about sports like normal humans.
This is incredible.
Damn right.
The crowd's going wild.
It's incredible.
Absolutely love it.
Who knew that to get the greatest interview of all time, it just took 1/4 of one good company to sell it for Brexit.
It's like you're censoring people.
Well, I've just been thinking
from
about that
Larry
for a long
Bird.
time. I've just been thinking
Right,
about that.
sure.
I've been thinking about why people do what they do, why they push certain agendas. And it's the numbers tell us, screw the numbers. Just talk
so
about
true.
sports.
That's what we do.
This does come back to the Larry Bird thing, though, because that's what I always said was, we have our Larry Bird. He's as entertaining.
We have a guy who's going to be maybe a top 25, top 30 player of all time.
Well, let me ask you-
maybe
20
even
center.
higher.
Guys, if he played for Philly or if he played for Boston, would this be bigger? What would it be?
Yeah.
If he played for Boston, he would be
Larry Bird.
he would be Larry
they would
Bird.
say, look, Gorman, I don't know if you saw it, Gorman and Scal on the
I know.
call.
Yeah,
they
I know.
compared. And I always
know.
told people, think about, they knew what that meant.
Yeah.
Dave Logan's not comparing any guy that comes in here to John Elway and saying,
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew really reminds me of John Elway. No, that takes a lot for you to come out with that comp. And,
Yeah.
I think it's true. I didn't mean to ask you, does it become a Broncos town and not or a Nuggets town and not a Broncos town? What I
Sure.
mean is, does the enthusiasm hit this? If Denver actually wins one, is it a source of pride where the team starts to say, "Hey,
Hell yeah.
man"?
The one thing about NBA basketball, I don't think I need to tell you guys this. It skews younger demo, and we have so many new people that have moved to this town, right? So new people that move to this town that maybe they want to glom onto something, maybe something energizes them. There are so many people that live downtown that are young people. I think it's an opportunity. It's a great opportunity for the Nuggets right now.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like we always talk about the rebrand, the Nuggets rebrand.
Yeah.
Actually hit that mark so succinctly because
Perfect.
it feels young. It feels, I mean, people always really have romantic feelings about the old rainbow jerseys, and I have a really hard time with them because of the associations of.
He's wearing a rainbow.
Well, no, I get it.
I know,
It's
but the jersey specific,
Yeah.
the logo is one thing, but the jerseys to me always felt like my team was just dressing up like clowns to go out and get beat up in front of everybody and then joked about.
Yeah.
And the rebrand actually brought a sense of pride to the team, I felt. And people coming to this town now it seems like are
when you notice it? Here's when you notice it, because I pay particular attention.
Yeah.
When the Nuggets are on the road, 10 years ago, the Nuggets are playing in Orlando, Miami, San Antonio. You'd never find a Nuggets fan in the stands.
Yeah.
They don't exist. Travel with the team now? They're everywhere.
Yeah.
You see the jerseys everywhere, man. A lot of them are from here. A lot of them live there. But the Nuggets have made an impression, not just here. What do you guys think about this theory? I think the Nuggets are more popular outside of Denver, internationally, than they are in Denver.
Everyone in the chat that's from Denver, give us a thumbs up. I imagine we'll get 7 to 8 of you.
And there's a lot of truth to it.
I mean,
we get,
internationally, obviously, I think the Nuggets are probably one of the more popular teams in Europe for sure. Australia, tons of Nuggets.
Do you know
fans.
why?
So why
though?
is that?
Do you know why?
tell me why.
I have a strong theory why. Iverson.
it was Allen Iverson.
It was Allen Iverson, Carmelo Anthony, Kenyon Martin, J.R. Smith, and it was Black American culture being exported, and this a very great time for that, and everybody jumped on board.
So it made
people
the
have
Nuggets,
told me this.
It
A
made
lot
the
of
Nuggets
people.
cool.
made them cool, and it made them representative of something they viewed hip-hop culture. You know,
Dude, you know what's
American
crazy?
hip-hop culture
I'll
is
never
Denver.
forget when I saw Allen Iverson walk through those doors, because I was at then Pepsi Center, now Ball Arena. I don't even know what to say when it's then, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'll never forget walking through those doors. You know those doors there in the lock, right in front of the locker room there?
Yeah.
And we're all waiting with the cameras. And Iverson walks in, and he's wearing his fur because it was a cold, snowy night. And you looking at him, and I'm like, that dude, it was like Joe Namath showing up.
100%.
That dude's
Yeah.
cool, man.
So Adam and I talk about this all the time. The hallway walk. Some players just have an amazing hallway walk where they just have all the swagger and
They're hallway
pace and
famers.
They have this aura around them where you just have to stare at them when they're walking. Iverson is like a first ballot Hall of Famer hallway walker.
Dude, and I don't care where his level of play was here, and I know it didn't work out. I don't care.
I know.
Allen
Totally.
Iverson was a Denver freaking Nugget.
Sometimes sports are just fun, and that's okay.
Allen Iverson was a Denver Nugget.
So I remember when Iverson came back when they did that like 2000s night
Yes!
a couple years ago, and
Epic.
he walked in that gray
Same
sweatsuit
No, you're
with the headband.
You're messing the story up, man, because here's what happened. I'm
Okay,
talking
okay.
to Nick O'Hare, and I tell him, like, hey, you sure Iverson's going to show for this thing? Like, what's your confidence level? He said 100%. He's going to be here at 5. We sent the lemo. It's 5 o'clock, 5:15, 5:30, 5:45, all the way to about 6:45. And he's sweating. I mean, I'm looking at it in the hallway, and he's sweating. And yeah, Iverson walks in his full sweatsuit. And
With
I'm
the
telling
headband.
you, and to this date, I have never seen this replicated by any athlete. Every single person just lost their breath and just stared at him
Yep.
until he got on
Isn't
the
that
court.
amazing?
It was incredible, man.
And myself
never
included. Like,
forget
I
that.
also was just kind of like
That's Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
fashionably late.
It's Allen Iverson.
Yep. It was perfect, actually.
It really was perfect.
You know, it's funny because when they say, who's the greatest Nugget ever? Do you include guys who had a stint here? How do you do that?
Bobby Jones or
Yeah,
something.
how do you,
a
like,
little cup
guys
of
who had
coffee.
a cup of coffee? How do you measure? Because if you're doing that, I mean, it's Allen freaking Iverson,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's got to be, how much time do you have to spend in a city?
You have to then, it has to be Peyton Manning level. You have to then live here afterwards.
That's
Allen
true.
Iverson-
That's true.
You have to adopt the city. We can't. It's just not a good look.
So
for us
that,
to
you know,
be
every time
chasing
everybody
Allen
makes
Iverson.
this argument with Ray Bork in the app.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
totally.
He came in, came out.
Ray, no. Ray Bork is not. Even though we retired his jersey, which I have mixed feelings about.
Yeah. We were really feeling it at that
We
time.
were really feeling it. Ray Bork, as soon as it was over, just hopped right back on a plane, went right back to Boston.
Yeah.
Never thought about Denver again.
Had the parade in Boston, actually.
Yeah. So that doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't really count.
So we're back
I still
to
like
Jokic.
Ray Bork, though. I still like
I
him.
do
It's
too.
still
I
good.
no ill will towards Ray Bork.
Those are all positive feelings. What about Michael Porter Jr. now? To me, we've talked about Jokic, favorite, best, whatever. Michael Porter, to me, there's something about him where I can't stop watching him when he's on the court.
Yeah, he's got. I mean, again, I said this on my radio show this morning, and I'm not exaggerating. His jump shot's erotic. I mean, I
Strong agree.
I look
That's
at
not
his
where I thought
jumper.
we were going, but all right.
I look at his jumper and I'm like, that.
You're like, hey, Michael Porter Jr.
Like I would have gone
jumper.
out with that
You
back
up?
in my day. If I saw Michael Porter's jumper at Thirsties in 1986, I would have
All
gone
over
up and
there,
asked
huh?
for a dance.
Wow.
You bite a
That's how
Breck
nice.
Bruce seltzer.
I mean, it's just ridiculously nice, right?
Yeah.
Even when he misses, it's nice. It's
Yeah,
like,
you're
well,
like, do it again. Just do it again.
yeah, just keep shooting. So the world is his if he continues on this track. Defensively, I thought he's improved. Heck, his length against Miami was something else. He affected some shots.
He's blocking
early
a
in
lot
that
of shots
game.
now.
Is there work to do? Yes. I think my favorite facet of Michael Porter Jr. in his game is his attitude. Hey, you ever notice how he doesn't really react to much of anything?
Of course.
He makes a jumper. Sometimes he'll give you, like he turned around that one time. Sometimes. But when he's bad, he'll mope on occasion.
Yeah.
But his face when he's good. I love guys when they're consistently good and they don't force you to know about it, right? Like, I don't need your dances after every shot.
You should. I don't know if you've seen his high school mixtapes, but he's going up. I mean, he's obviously outclassing all these little dudes and dunking on them. It's the same. There's this one clip of him where, he shoots a three in the full court press, steals the inbound, dunks it, steals the next inbound, dunks it, and he never smiled the whole time. And it's just like
It's like, this is my job.
And it's kind of cruel because there's these kids that are just struggling,
Yeah.
whatever. But it's just like mechanical to him. He's like, steal, dunk.
This is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
I was born to do this. I'm a robot.
Until they take me out,
totally.
I'm just going to keep stealing and dunking on
Like
you.
Will Barton had this quote earlier this season when he was talking about MPJ, and he said something that's always impressed him is just like his work ethic and how serious he takes his craft. Like it's not by mistake that this guy's an incredible shooter already. Like, he works and works and works, gets up tons of shots. But I think that's why he's just so stone-faced on the court. He's like, this is my job. Like, this is my career. This is what I do.
On that note, can I ask you guys a question?
Of course.
Because
Absolutely not.
I'm usually paid to ask the question. So I was curious about this because I watched the post-game interviews last night via Zoom, and every player was asked this question. And I asked Michael Porter this question. So you lose Jamal Murray, and most media, most analysts will write you off for a championship, right? They'll say, well, that sucks. Yep. Any team that loses its second-best player, it's over. I asked that question to him about having belief, and he almost was pissed off by the question. He's like, how dare you? Do you think deep down, how many players really believe they still have a chance? Do you think that's true?
Great? Yeah. Are you talking about specifically on this Denver roster?
On this Denver roster, do you think players deep down, because
that's a great question I don't know the answer to. It almost feels reckless. I was thinking about this exact thing last night, and that's why people were saying, Jokic is going to come out so fired up. And I thought, I don't know how he's going to come out, because there's got to be a part of him that thinks it's so hard to win and we just lost one of our best. What do you
see guys? Now and I hate it when people say, well, you're just not a believer. What kind of fan are you? It's not. That's not the point.
Right.
The point is, it's be practical about this. Having all the support system to get it done, right? Yeah. Having everybody on board to get it done.
My feeling about this is that they don't know who they are at this exact moment in time, but then a game like last night happens that shows them that they still have all of the capability to get a lot of things done.
And there's still more room?
But they just have to evolve. They can't play the way that they were.
Sure.
And so they have to put to rest what they were, and it has to be a re-emergence. They have to be Phoenix from the flame. And I truly in my heart believe that they still have a chance. Like, just watching the dominance of Gordon and MPJ and Jokic on the court, like the dynamics of one of those guys cutting, one of the guys hanging out, like, it's there. It's just they can't play how they were. And so luckily they have enough time to be able to figure that out.
Harrison, you've watched this. You watch every game, obviously, like we all do. They, like someone said, well, they're not going to score as much. The scoring, that's not going to be an issue.
Right.
The question I will have, we saw Jamal Murray late games take over and say, I got this. Phoenix, Chicago.
Yep.
Who will be that I got this guy outside of Joker? We know Joker can. That's the question. Did you really? And I can't wait to find out. I can't wait, because everybody can raise their hand. We know they got players who want to raise their hand.
Yeah,
but who can do it?
I think if what you were talking about before, asking Porter if they can still win a championship, he's probably one of the guys. I mean, I don't know how many guys in that locker room think so. He probably definitely does, because it's his time now. Right. I mean, he's the guy who's got to step up with Jamal Murray out. He's going to have the spotlight on him. He's going to be the guy late in games now.
Yeah. So he doesn't lack self-belief either.
And and he's young enough to have the audacity of hope. Like, he is able to, he doesn't know what the NBA is really about. So he can think.
Good book. I read that book too.
Yeah, right? By MPJ.
What do you think, Vic? What's your take?
I thought about this long and hard, and becoming that guy is not an easy thing. It requires a lot of failure first. Yeah. You got to fail first. Right. You just don't walk into that. You got to take those shots, fail, accept that you may fail, and then do it again. So who wants to fail? I know that sounds silly, right? That sounds like, what are you talking about? Who wants to step up and be that guy who may fail? And there are a couple guys who have the makeup to do that. I think MPJ is one of them.
I think MPJ has the makeup because he wants to be great. He wants to be the best in the league.
And ready to accept criticism if he doesn't make the shot.
Right. Yeah.
That's hard to do, man. That's hard to do. Yeah. People think it's easy. But being the GOAT, if it doesn't work out, that is, I think that separates the really good players from the great players.
You got to want to carry that burden night in, night out. And I think he has the makeup to carry it.
It's not even just if I miss the shot, everybody's going to look at me. There's a bunch of other responsibilities that just come with everybody's eyes being on you in the first place. Yeah. And I think you don't always know that before you're the boss.
Well, and that's what I'm going to miss most about Jamal this upcoming playoff run. Do you know how many times I've interviewed Jamal? It happened a couple of times this year after he made ridiculous shots. The one against Chicago that sent it to overtime, and I said, "How did you?" He goes, "Don't ask me that. You should know better." And it's almost an affront because he is so secure in his confidence that it's not even worth asking him. That kind of confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't manufacture that in a month.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just recorded with George Karl. That'll be out later today too. And I don't want to spoil all that he said, but because I look at it and I go, okay, in the playoffs, every team is forced to do the thing they least want, and Denver's the thing they least want to do is really good when they have Murray because they have just so many different options. Mm-hmm. But I think George Karl used the word courage. They're going to miss his courage, and I think that's the best way to put it. He had an enormous amount of courage, whatever. Like there was no neat reason or no like logical reason they
who goes hard at Rudy Gobert, the shot blocker extraordinaire, and says, let me try something different and go 360 on him.
Insane courage. Like a little crazy, to be honest.
Who pulls up in a playoff race, in a playoff game, a must-win game, 3-on-1, and says, shoot a 3 here, pull up.
Yep. I'll say I do think that this team collectively has a courage. I think back to last year, right before the All-Star break, the Nuggets are taking on the Lakers, and Monte Morse gets in LeBron James's face. And I remember, I saw the whole timeline. All of Twitter is saying, "What are you doing? You're being dumb." And I thought, nope, you don't beat LeBron James by kneeling to him, by asking him if it's okay to beat him.
Can I foul you, Mr. LeBron?
And and guess what? It woke LeBron up, and LeBron won that game for them. But to me, I was like, that's it. Keep doing that.
So who else has that? Because you guys hear me talk about that all the time. I can never have enough guys who are assholes.
Yeah.
You're in the right place, Vic.
Of course.
Vic, you can say anything you want.
I love assholes. God, don't edit
that's
don't
perfect.
Clip that.
Clip that one, Kale.
Don't edit that.
We're learning a lot about Vic today.
Yeah, we know what you
learning an awful lot.
God, I'm just going to stop.
PJ's shot really turns him on.
No, but I think every good team, like, you know the benefit of having Marcus Morris on that Lakers team to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? To be that guy.
See, I think he's a fake guy, though.
I know he's fake, but he plays that role. And as long as you play that role and do it and support.
Until somebody calls your bluff, which is kind of what happened.
Millsap did.
Yep.
Millsap got his face.
Green, he's an asshole.
I was going to say the other night against Golden State, he had that one foul, that offensive foul where he just.
And you know what that came from? I don't know if you caught this. Jokic gave a little bit of a cheap shot, and I can't even remember who the player was, retaliated on Jokic. That was JaMychal Green retaliating on him.
Good.
Yeah. So that was a little bit of a back and forth that was happening. I loved it.
And I don't know where it stands right now. What's the latest on Austin Rivers?
I don't know if
I don't think it's official, but it seems like it's close.
He plays with an edge.
Yeah. He does.
He plays with an edge.
For sure.
I can't have enough of those guys in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because in the playoffs, you don't just win pretty. You scratch.
Facu definitely plays.
Oh, heck yeah. He has to. He does it in an exhibition game.
That's so true.
The great thing about Facu is he just doesn't give a shit. Like, he doesn't care who he's playing against. He doesn't care about the name on the back of the jersey.
Who's laughing? I was literally out of my chair laughing before the tragic the situation with Jamal, obviously. When Facu lined up for the jump ball.
Oh, yeah.
I was sitting there going, and they won the jump ball.
They won the jump ball. Man, that play was actually hilarious because I don't know if you remember, the Nuggets lined up in the dumbest way possible. We were sitting there watching it, and we're like, you're going to give up a wide open layup here. He's not going to win this, and somehow it worked out. All right, we have to move on because Eric spent a lot of time on a very great game.
We don't have to.
No, we have to. It's a really good game.
Yeah, I want to do it.
This is a great game. Eric, do you want to take the wheel here?
Sure. Vic, you're well known as a Northside supporter, a Northside rememberer.
Yeah.
We put together a game for you to rate things based on whether you view them as either Northside or LoHi.
Oh, God, don't do
Northside or LoHi. The rating means that you either accept it as part of the new Denver culture,
which would mean Northside,
or LoHi, which you reject.
Which is the new.
It's like,
I don't reject
this means either. This is in the club, out the club.
Okay, I just want to make this claim because everybody thinks I'm the old curmudgeon that hates the new. I love people moving to this town.
Me too.
And I love the advancement. My parents still live on the north side. They still live in the same place I grew up in. And the fact that neighborhood's cleaned up and beautiful, I love it.
Yeah.
But you don't get the right to rename my shit.
That's so true. That's exactly
this is my shit. Yeah. You don't come in here and tell me what the name of my shit is.
We like LoHi too. We're going to call it the North Side.
It's Northside or LoHi. So you tell us. We give you a variety of topips.
By the way, there's a great South Park with this. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
Where it's Soda Sopa. Yeah.
Soda Sopa.
Downtown South Park. Gets rebranded.
Yeah, so we're just going to give you a variety of things.
Okay.
You tell us if they are either A, Northside, or B, LoHi.
Remember, LoHi's bad in this.
First up, the brand new jerseys from this year, the red jerseys from the Denver Nuggets.
Oh, that's 100% LoHi.
That is LoHi.
This one had a right answer.
Yeah.
This one had a correct
first of all, I'm colorblind. I'm colorblind. So when those jerseys came out, I'm like, I'm red-green colorblind.
Okay.
So to me, those look what the hell color is that?
Really?
I
Wow.
don't even know what that is.
That's crazy.
So it's hard for me to. That's hard to resonate.
I'd call it a starburst red.
Yeah.
That's kinda what I
Starburst
would
red?
say. That's the color I would call it.
Well, it's
I'd call it a flat iron red.
it's flat iron.
Well,
red is the
come
winner.
on.
Yeah.
It's not though. It's not.
I
It's too
know,
bright.
it's not.
It's too bright.
All right, that is a LoHi rating. Okay, well, next up, the question is the Mile High City blue jerseys. How do we feel about those? Are those Northside, Vic, or are those LoHi?
God, that's right on the line. I would call that more Northside.
All right, I couldn't
call
agree
that
more.
two for two.
He's
agree.
two for two. These
I
are
agree.
total north side.
By the way, can I say that I'm old enough to remember when an actual mortuary
Yeah.
was there, and I saw bodies coming in and out. So my friend Gino Amato, named Amato's Ale House, that
Okay.
family. I used to ride my bike down to Gino Amato's house from where I lived, and we'd drive by the mortuary, and we'd see bodies, and we'd freak out.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
What a
very.
child.
And now they sell ice cream out of
very
that.
north side.
That story is very
Very
Northside.
north side. Peak north side.
So not everything is so analogous here. So Vic, how do you feel about adult men wearing basketball jerseys without a shirt underneath? Is this Northside or is this LoHi?
I call these guys out every time I see them. I do. And listen, if you're so sure of yourself and you're into buys and tries all
You're
day.
wrong, first
and
of all.
if
you're so sure of yourself, you're wrong.
I don't want to see your armpits, man. I mean, cover that stuff.
Vic, we're going to
So-
need an official ruling, please.
That's
Northside.
LoHi.
That's
That's
LoHi.
LoHi.
All right, that's very low.
3 for 3.
It used to be Northside and now it's LoHi.
But if
No.
you did that in the 80s and it was really tight and maybe had like a pack of Marlboros, then maybe.
Vic, the rooftop bar at Coors Field. The rooftop.
That's 100% LoHi.
Oh, no.
I think I might disagree on this one. I
love
might
it.
disagree.
Let me say, I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
I want, when I go to Rockies games and we go off and as a radio show, let's go to the rooftop. I
Right.
enjoy it, and it's the first place I would go if
Definitely.
I'm not knocking it, but back in the day, you would not see anything like that. That is LoHi.
very low.
Very low high.
Do you feel like stadiums were better when the chairs were uncomfortable and
I'm not going to be that guy. I
Not
mean,
that
listen, it is this. I remember going to a game to watch the game. I remember that. And sometimes you're not even watching the game today. And it's, that's just the nature of entertainment. I get it.
Yeah.
So, Vic, I'm curious. The redux of Union Station. It's an old building, but it's been redone. Is it Northside or is it LoHi? It's a beautiful building. Do
Yeah.
we accept it?
It's a gorgeous
Do
building.
we
Are you
claim
kidding
it
me?
as foundational to Denver?
Well, this is going to go against my better judgment. My dad worked for 26 years for the railroad, Burlington Northern Railroad. So I'd spend a lot of time just walking around that area. And I, as much as I value Union Station's tradition and rich roots, I love what they've done with it. So I'm going to call them Northside.
It's Northside. I couldn't
total
agree
Northside.
more.
I love it.
The new Union Station, totally
Let's go
Northside.
get
This
Love
is
it.
a total
Frozen Columbus.
improvement on the city. It's a great spot.
I mean, why
man.
wouldn't you like something that they've
Yeah,
improved?
of course.
It looks beautiful.
Nobody
is
was going to
beautiful.
the old one just
Yeah,
to
why
hang
would I
out,
go?
yeah.
Wait, just sit
Sit
in the
by the
lobby?
tracks,
Yeah.
maybe throw bottles at the
Well,
tracks.
you would go there to find bodies that then you could take to
Good point.
the DNVR bar, Vic.
Yeah.
How do we feel about
there is a right
DNVR
answer here.
bar?
Yeah,
Is the
there's-
DNVR bar
a very right
Northside or is
answer.
it LoHi?
I don't go to many bars, and the fact that I'm here, it's Northside.
Yeah.
You guys get it. This is good, by the way. I've already
Let's go.
By the end of this, I'll go full Northside on your asses.
Vic, microbreweries.
I don't say it's LoHi. Yes.
What do you
the good vibes you got. It's it's a little high.
Again, I have a lot of friends who are big beer fanatics, and let's go to this bag. Where? What microbrewery? There's 18 on my square block.
of course. Yeah.
Which one?
Very LoHi. That's
Yeah.
very LoHi.
Have you ever gone to the Great American Beer Festival? And this, like, all the beer snobs in the chat are going to be so horrified by this. But I go after about 4 beers, can't tell a difference.
Well,
Like,
I
try this IPA, that on. I'm like,
don't like the. See, I'm different. I'm not a beer guy. I don't like the taste of beer.
yeah.
He's a cider man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm a
seltzer-
seltzer
I
guy.
drink
Not
wine.
afraid to admit
I'm
it.
a wine.
You like to booze?
I grew up
wine
wine
guy.
in my. I drank
All right.
wine since I was 5 years old. I mean, it's like it runs. My palate's ruined.
That's
I don't-
very, very Northside.
Yeah.
Very, very north side.
Vic, how do you feel about quote unquote street tacos?
Street tacos, unless they're from Chubby's, it's total
Man,
LoHi.
this is great. This is great. This is,
Total
that's
LoHi.
the
this is
correct
so
answer.
low high.
Unless they're from Chubby's, they don't count.
Yeah.
This is a great answer.
Yeah.
Now, Vic, this is the most important one coming up.
Oh man, we're not going to dish on tacos here for a minute.
Well,
you don't
we
have
can
anything
dish-
to say.
We can dish on taco.
I think this is an important point. I have people tell me all the time, "Oh, not real Mexican food. The stuff my family eats or whatever."
What is a street taco, by the way? Is it just out of the vans?
It's like it's like
It's really more
$3.50 or $4 taco. That's pretty much just meat and then like something else.
It's an authentic Mexican taco from a guy named Chad.
Exactly. that you buy across the street.
You know, it never fills me up. That's the thing. I'm like, I want more.
Is 12 too many? You're like, what?
You're going to have 6 tacos. Well, dude, they're the size of my freaking finger.
There's about 20 places where you can get street tacos in LoHi. Actually.
Oh, that's hilarious.
True.
Now, Vic, this is a very important question.
This is an important one.
We need to know, for our own clarification, is Brandon Spano.
God, look at that.
Is
face.
Brandon Spano
He's got to fire
Northside, or is Brandon Spano LoHi?
Dude, he's so bad he might be Southside.
He got sent to the south.
I'm going to put him on the Southside for that.
Brandon Spano and Vic Lombardi grew up in the very
No,
same
he's
neighborhood.
100% Northside. He understands Northside pride, baby. Look at that face. That is so Northside. He's got that fake look, that sweater on the chin going. Come on, man.
It's incredible.
That's so
it's incredible.
Question though.
Yeah.
Was he Northside?
Yeah, he's 100% Northside.
He's Northside.
He's had to
He's
work.
still Northside
And he's had to
for
work
sure.
for everything he's got, and that is Northside.
We love you,
That is
Brandon.
Northside.
Yeah. I can't believe it's your last day here at DNVR.
I can. I put this together.
That was tough. Well, Vic, this was awesome, man. We appreciate you
man.
coming in and hanging out.
Guys, anytime, man.
Didn't really know where this conversation was going to go, but
I knew I was
went
gonna be
some
fired at
fun
the end,
places.
but yeah.
Wherever it went.
Keep doing what you guys do, really. I mean, I'm really proud of you guys, all of you. You know what I think about this place and what you guys do. I do. After our post-game shows, I turn you guys on, and I always want to get your perspective on the games. I want to know if my depressed feeling is depressed enough, or if my no, seriously, or if after a good win, am I too high?
Totally.
You always, that's the beauty of sports, right? You always want to engage with others to see how they feel. Take the temperature of the room.
Don't you think, though? I'm all about writing highs and lows, though, because there's a thought, of like, oh, you be pragmatic, stay in the middle. I think,
life.
why? No, and it's also sports. Eric he really is the one that's like he's evangelical about this thought of you want to feel emotions in life, and it can be dangerous in the wrong place. Sports, safest, best place.
100%.
I'm so mad
100%.
at
And you know
sports.
what else about sports? Like I always, there's a big distinction: hatred and sports hatred.
Oh,
Like,
totally.
sports hate is the most important thing there is, so that you don't have
100%
real life hate.
Exactly. Like I don't hate any human being.
Oh, I sports hate
I don't,
Nurkic,
I don't
though.
hate humans, but
I hate Nurkic.
if you put
Sports
somebody,
hate.
if
I
you put
sports hate
somebody in a
Nurkic.
uniform against my team, I hate his guts.
Who do you sports hate the most through history? Do you have a list of biggest sports hate?
Oh, over time, God, I used to sports hate Peyton Manning before he became a Bronco because he always beat the Broncos, right?
But now he's so Northside. He was formerly
he's
LoHi.
different. I sports hate LeBron James, because he represents the evil empire.
He's very
he-
low.
I mean, he's a Laker.
LeBron James.
LeBron's really
very
broke my
low.
heart. He was one of my favorites, and now I can't
Anybody who
stand
wears a
looking at him.
Lakers uniform will get my sports
So
hate.
true. So true. Adam Morrison especially. That does it, everybody. leave a like on the way out. Guys, don't forget, check out everything Vic does. Television, radio, everything is great. When he makes a guest appearance on this show, also great.
Dude, Vic, one of my heroes.
Thanks, guys. No, I mean that means a lot to hear. That
Been
you
watching
guys
my whole
watch.
life. Such an
Well,
important
once
part
again,
of my,
that's just another way of saying the corpse is with us.
Well, I'm not that far. I'm 42. I mean, I'm not.
My grandparents loved you back when you first. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Hit the like button on the way out. We'll see everybody tomorrow.